brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking host, the good old boys. Now it's sippin' time.
Oh yes, it's sippin' time again, and welcome to this Sips episode where everything good in life is worth discussing. As always, we are the best thing on at 2 a.m. This is a 1-hour show, and we're shooting for 23 minutes of entertainment.
Never happened. Never happened.
22. We are banned in 3 countries, 2 states, and at this point, pretty much every theme park in the southeastern U.S. This is Made Man Bob. Joining me today are Made Man Brent.
It's a pleasure to be here. I like the addition of the jackalope on the bar there.
Well, it's nice down here in the basement. Made Man Maury.
Good morning. Always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, put on your boots. It's kind of damp here in the basement. And good old boy Harmeet.
Well, howdy, y'all.
Brent, Maury, and myself are with the Bourbon Mafia. The Bourbon Mafia is a non-profit organization composed of bourbon enthusiasts and industry professionals with representation in 8 states. Our members combine a love of bourbon with a passion for charitable work. Our group uses their love of our native spirit to raise money for local and national charities through rare bottle auctions and other themed events. Our show is sponsored in part by the Bourbon Review, a quarterly magazine and online source for all things bourbon. You can find them on Facebook or at their website at www.gobourbon.com.
Go Bourbon.
And also by Fine Spirits, Cooper City, Florida, home of the Enigmatic Machine, serving great wines, whiskeys, and other spirits by the glass. You can find them at www.finespirits.net.
But can you find the whiskey by the glass?
Maybe.
The machines will be fixed one day.
All right. Our Sips segments are all about wine, distilled spirits, tea, coffee, and anything else we can drink. And today's show is all about Rabbit Hole Distilling.
It's a little white rabbit.
See?
A white rabbit.
See, the old guys get it.
The old, yeah.
All right. So let's talk about some background on the brand as well as on the individual products we're going to be tasting.
So what are we tasting today?
The products we're going to be tasting today are Rabbit Hole Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Rabbit Hole Straight Rye Whiskey, and Rabbit Hole Bourbon Whiskey finished in PX sherry casks. So why don't we have Maury go ahead and tell us a little bit about Rabbit Hole.
Thank you, Bob. Rabbit Hole was founded very recently in 2012 by Kaveh Zamanian, a licensed clinical psychologist. Originally a Scotch drinker, Kaveh was first introduced to bourbon by his wife Heather, a Louisville native and clinical psychologist herself. His passion for bourbon continued to grow to the point that he began experimenting and attending every tasting and industry event he could. Seeing the interest consume more and more of his time, his wife referred his growing obsession to him as taking him down the rabbit hole.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
So he decided to leave his career in 2014 and embark on a full-time career in the whiskey business, and Rabbit Hole was born.
He's my hero. I wish I could quit my job and get in the liquor business.
So he founded it in 2012, but he didn't leave this career as clinical psychologist until 2014?
Well, in 2012 to 14, it was a hobby. And in 2014, he quit being a psychologist and dedicated all of his time to the Rabbit Hole. When starting a new whiskey business, the first problem is having product to sell. Most start out as non-distiller producers where they purchased aged spirit from an existing distillery to bottle and sell under their own name. However, Rabbit Hole decided to go in a different direction. They are what is referred to as a contract distilling producer. A contract distilling producer is a company that contracts with an existing distiller to have them produce new make spirit on their behalf using their own personal and often proprietary recipe and barrel requirements. This allows a contract distilling producer to offer a bourbon unique to their company.
Nice.
However, Rabbit Hole isn't planning to stay a contract distilling producer forever. They are currently under construction for their new distillery. A new $12.5 million distillery will be located at 711 East Jefferson Street in the Nulu district of Louisville.
7-Eleven, are they going to have Slurpees?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That would be awesome.
Sorry, he's cutting in on my business here. 7-Eleven.
Whiskey Slurpees.
Kaveh is Iranian. I'm Indian. I should be on 7-Eleven.
The current footprint is approximately 55,000 square feet, which includes the former St. Jude Baptist Church building that they are going to incorporate into the experience. Additionally,
that's my kind of church.
There you
One's
go.
got a still in it.
Take me to church.
Yeah, oh man, all of a sudden I really get excited about every Sunday morning.
Additionally, the facility will include a full-service restaurant and cocktail lounge and an event center on the 5th floor with 165-person capacity. They're spending some serious cash.
I don't know 165 people, so
It's only $12.5 million. Come on, that's
Demolition has
pocket
already
change.
been completed, and the piping and equipment is ready to start going in. The stills are being made by Vendome Copper and Brass Works of Louisville, and the distillery is on track to be completed and producing new make spirit by the end of 2017, with the visitor center expected to open shortly thereafter that. Very ambitious timeline.
Nice.
Currently, Rabbit Hole products are available in Kentucky, Illinois, and Tennessee, and will be expanding to 2 or 3 more states later this year.
Are they doing copper or column or both?
I don't know what they're planning. Probably going to be both.
Did you meet Kaveh, Brent?
Yes.
And?
Did we ask
Did
him
you
that question?
ask him about the stills?
did you ask him
No.
for the dimensions of the still that's being installed? No.
No.
You failed, Brent. You failed
I
miserably.
believe it's a column still because I believe I saw a picture on the website of it. I mean, very few people use pot stills. I mean, especially in Kentucky, other than Woodford Reserve, and how much of that's actually pot still
Well, you
versus
gotta have
column
like some
still.
percentage of pot still.
Yeah.
Pot still has a distinct flavor.
Yeah, I'm sure it's. it's Vendome. I'm sure it's a column still.
All right.
And that's some information on Rabbit Hole. And now we'll have Brent tell you about our SIPS rating and their signature sounds. And since we were talking about rabbits today, we'll ask Brent to do it using his best Elmer Fudd voice.
Be very, very quiet.
Good
I'm
job,
hunting
Brent.
rabbits.
You sound just like
wish
Elmer
he was
Fudd.
that good.
Oh, rabbit hunting. Oh, definitely going rabbit hunting. We'll be using the tasting and discussing these whiskeys and weighting them with these sips weightings, plus our signature sounds.
That's
You're
very, very impressive. I'm quite impressed of how you're doing the voice there.
Here are those weightings now. 1 sip. Give me a glass of water to wash out my mouth.
Gangadin, water. Gangadin, bring water. Bring water.
Water. 2 sips. Nice. But what else do we have?
Well, isn't that nice?
Elmer's drunk.
Elmer's drunk. Poor Elmer. 3 sips. Very interesting. What was that again?
Interesting.
I like that, but you missed up 3. Come on. Do it again. 3.
3.
Interesting.
If you talk like that, trust me, you have been drinking.
4 sips. Let's keep this secret to ourselves. Pour me another.
Don't tell that wascally wabbit.
That's classified.
5 sips. Oh my. I was unaware anything could be this good.
Oh my goodness!
Round of applause for Brent for Elmer Fudd. No?
I'm still.
You're gonna hit the round of applause button. Bob
still
says
getting
no round
my,
of applause for you.
It was a very wascally rabbit.
I still have in my head that image of Elmer Fudd when he was doing the one episode with the horns on his head. Killed a rabbit, killed a woman.
Yes, I love that one.
That, and there was a comedian who used to do him. I'm driving in my car. I turn on the radio.
Who was that?
I want to hold you close. So yeah, okay. So
Thank you. It was that Wagner opera. It was
killed a wabbit, killed a wabbit. Yeah, come on.
It's great.
It's Elmer, man. It explains why our generation is so messed up. So,
That was my introduction to classical music. Come on.
That was most people's
awesome.
introductions to
Well,
classical music.
At least our age.
Yeah, exactly. That explains a lot of the problems that we've got.
Hey, who's going to do the first whiskey?
We idolized a guy with a speech impediment who chased a rabbit around and never was able to seem to actually shoot him. So,
do we have time to do the first whiskey, or are we up on a hard break now?
Well, we're almost to a break, but we can get started. So, why don't you go ahead and at least tell us what it is?
Who?
You.
You didn't tell me I was doing the first one.
Yes, I did.
Oh, my God.
Oh, dear Lord.
He's unprepared.
Yeah, as usual.
That's a surprise.
I was drinking.
All right, Elmer.
All right, the first product we have to review today is the Rabbit Hole Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 47.5% ABV, which is impressive, and I enjoyed it very much. This expression is created using a unique mash bill of 4 grains. They use corn, 70%, 10% malted wheat, 10% malted barley, and 10% honey malted barley. Kids, questions, comments?
Where does that honey malted barley come from?
That was the question. Thank you for setting me up.
I would argue that those are 3 grains. Honey malted barley and malted barley are both barley.
I agree with you.
Most of us would say that a 4-grain whiskey contains rye.
I 100% agree with you.
Thank you.
But this is their freaking marketing.
Take it back. Don't read marketing.
But they used 4 different batches of grain. How's that? 4 batches of grain. 70% corn, 10% malted wheat, 10% malted barley, and then honey malted barley. So you want to talk about malt, since we don't really have time for me to talk about this whiskey yet.
We're going to the malt shop, or
we're going to malting? So what's honey malted barley, guys? What's that all about?
I don't know. Tell us.
Oh, fine. I thought you guys were supposed to set me up. So anyway.
We've been trying to set you up for years.
I'm married now. It's too late.
You're not set upable.
Yeah. In fact, if you look outside, there might be some law enforcement gentlemen who want to talk to you.
Oh, jeez. I'm a citizen, kids. I'm a citizen. I may be brown, but I'm here legally. Anyway, honey malted barley is something really great.
I see you standing next to a wall. I get nervous.
You're not going to even talk about barley. Oh, man.
I see the immigrations guys coming. He's sweating.
Yeah. I may or may not be back after the break.
Rolling clouds and crashing surf, iridescent dunes reflecting by the light of a rising, glowing moon. Seashore mesmerizing, night breeze hypnotizing. We've come across these back roads none too soon. Look to the left, to the right. Keep your eyes on the road, my darling. Wondering if we're only passing through. Open roads and open windows. My hand is yours forever, sweet love.
All right, we're back, and this is Sip's episode.
Has anybody seen Harmeet? Those guys in blue were here.
There was some guys from Homeland Security outside that we were looking for him, but we are here, and we're...
Brent, I think you need to take over until we find Harmeet.
He's back.
It's all good, kids. That was FedEx. It was FedEx.
We're talking about Rabbit Hole.
Be quiet. I'm hunting wabbits.
Wabbits.
All right, so tell us about the mash bill and...
Well, let's talk about malting.
What is honey?
Well, let's talk about malting first. We all talk about barley or single malt whiskey. I touch the plugs.
Don't touch the machine.
Did I unplug us? No. So we talk about single malt whiskey a lot, and when you think about single malt or malts, you think about Scotland. And when we talk about malt in Scotland, it's malted barley, for the most part. Well, the nomenclature's all messed up. There's barley whiskey, or there's Scotch whiskey made with single malts, and then there's grain whiskey. Grain whiskeys are made with the other grains, corn and wheat.
The other white meat?
But they're all grain. Nomenclature's all messed up here. Barley's grain, too. And then earlier off the air, Maury was talking about malting with us, and what is wheat versus malted wheat? Well, you can malt anything, just like anything with nipples, you can milk it, right? Right, Brent?
Oh, I have nipples.
You can malt
right in the toilet with you too.
Yeah. You can,
but
you can malt any grain.
In fairness, when people say malt or this whiskey or this beer contains malt, generally they're referring to malted barley.
100% correct.
But correct you are that you can malt anything.
And correct you are, you can milk almost anything.
And any mammal, milk it.
But if you go to the store where they sell cat milk, that does not come from cats.
I don't even want to know where you shop. So malting a grain, basically you wet the grain slightly, let it germinate. You're taking this dry grain and let it think, hey, I'm going to be a plant someday. You fool it into thinking it's going to grow up and make some food. But no, we've cruelly fooled this little seed into thinking it's going to go somewhere. And it starts to germinate. And you stop that germination process by air drying, like they do in a lot of distilleries, or roasting it, which could be baked in an oven or use peat smoke. Normally they use kiln drying here in America and most of Scotland as well. And depending on how dark you roast that, changes the gradation of that malting. So we've got malted wheat in here. We've got malted
What's the
barley.
difference between a 2-row malt and a 6-row malt?
3 rows.
Yeah.
No, 4 rows.
4 roses. That's a great name for a bourbon.
Yeah, so, we should maybe call those guys and see if they give us some.
One of my favorite whiskeys in the world is the Glenmorangie Signet, which uses coffee roasted barley. It's not coffee. It's not roasted with coffee. They roast the barley till it looks like coffee beans.
Very dark
roast. Yeah, that's called a chocolate malt. Actually, they call it a chocolate malt. It looks like coffee beans, but the name nomenclature is stupid. It looks like coffee, but we call it a chocolate malt.
It doesn't taste like chocolate malts I've ever had.
That's the only whiskey Glenmorangie makes that uses that coffee chocolate malt.
I think that's the only Scotch whiskey right now that's using that chocolate malt.
Yeah, but it's damn good.
It is phenomenal.
It is quite good.
So we've got corn, 70%, 10% malted wheat. They've germinated. They've dried it. Malted barley, 10%, like they would use in Scotland. And then they've got this crazy thing called honey malted barley, which we had to look up. For the brewers out there, you beer geeks, you all know honey malted barley. That's what they make nut brown ale with. It's made by the Gambrinus company in Canada, and they do this unique process which
take off.
They wouldn't. We couldn't find exactly how they do it, but it makes some barley.
It involves hockey. It's from Canada.
Curling.
Yeah.
Everybody forgets about curling.
Nobody curls. They play hockey. Please.
That's just a way to teach people how to sweep. Anyway, I thought this is an interesting mash bill, and it's different. The honey malted barley made a difference, as you'll see in our tasting notes, I think. So we're done with the malting of the mash bill. Let's talk about the aging. This is aged in number 3 char barrels made by the Kelvin Cooperage.
Hey, Kelvin.
Woohoo!
Yep. We were lucky enough to meet the gentleman who runs Kelvin Cooperage last time we were.
How many degrees Kelvin do they char at?
Nice. Just add 273 to whatever you're.
He's trying to use that science degree for something, isn't he? Yeah, that beautiful barrels. They make great barrels.
Yep.
Well, I didn't get to go and meet these guys. Well, thank you for.
Well, you weren't invited.
You're welcome.
Besides, you're not allowed to travel interstate.
I don't travel with the Bourbon Mafia. I'm just a good old boy.
Well, you can't travel interstate anyway. There's the Homeland Security guys out there looking for you.
I have to let my parole officer know I'm leaving. At any rate, this goes in the barrel at 110 proof.
That ankle bracelet starts beeping again.
That would be called entry proof.
This is Harmeet at the state border.
Proof of citizenship.
Proof of citizenship. There you go. I hate you all so much. White people, I'm just surrounded by white people. I even married a couple white girls. Not at the same time, though. That would be outre.
Oh, then you'd be from, like,
that'd
Utah,
be from Alabama.
No, Alabama should be your sister.
And your cousin.
Yeah,
and your cousin.
At the same time.
Well, that's why I went with white chicks. Yeah, they're definitely not related to me. Anyway, barrel proof's 110. Entry proof is 110, and the aging is only 2 years. And this was surprising to me because 2 years in this number 3 char barrel for this bourbon was spectacular.
What size barrels were they using?
They didn't tell me.
Both sides, as far as I know, yeah.
Was it full size?
Because it really tastes more mature than the average 2-year-old.
I was going to say. It does not taste like a 2-year-old
I'm
whiskey.
Officially creeped out.
Oh, God. Why are we going there? Because it was less gross. We talked about the 18-year-olds that way, but these are 2-year-olds. The color is amber. It is very pretty. On the nose, I got a lot of berry. And what really struck me was sweet coffee.
Chuck Berry?
Chuck Berry. Oh. Now, since you'll be listening to this later, today we raise a glass and toast to Chuck Berry, who died last night.
The king of rock and roll.
The king of the originator. So, sweet coffee notes. This is just interesting. I love this. Coffee and like a creme brulee, really creamy. The palate, I got lots of wheat and honey and almond. I just really enjoyed this taste. You want to have another sip right now. And it's kind of heavy. It doesn't taste like a 2-year. It tastes like it's definitely been in their barrel longer. So like Maury was saying, I think it may have been a smaller barrel. And I'm going to have to give this a 4. I really enjoyed this. I was waiting until Bob was busy.
Classified.
Pulling another bottle out. So who wants to go next? Brent, what do you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed this as well. This is you can definitely tell that it is younger, but you're very fooled by the age. I got a lot of brown sugar in the nose. In the cherries. And definitely when you taste it, I get those coffee notes
I think I got the cherry too. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. I got the coffee notes in it, but I'm not a coffee drinker. And so for me, the finish was a little bit bitter because of that, because I don't enjoy coffee, but, overall it's very impressive. I enjoy this, especially for, I'm looking forward, in a couple of years, like, wow, if this is this good now, how good is this going to be in, 2 more years or 4 more years? So it's very good.
But it's not like a bitter coffee. I understand what you're saying. Maybe a little bitter for you. You're not
yeah,
coffee.
right.
It's not a
right.
bitter coffee. It's like a
latte.
Yeah, there you go.
It's very creamy. It doesn't have that tannic like a strong black coffee. It has that cafe au lait kind of just beautiful roundness.
The sugars also make it's like a kind of like a Cuban coffee.
Yeah, but for my sips rating, I give this a solid 3.
Interesting.
All right, Maury, what'd you think?
Well, as much as I hate to admit it or ever agree with Harmeet, I think he was spot on. I think that, number one, it tastes mature beyond its years. I love the mouthfeel. I love the palate, lush palate coatingness. I do get the cafe latte, creme brulee kind of on the nose and on the palate. A lot of brown sugar and honey. I think I'm getting the honey from that honey malted barley. Maybe it's just in my imagination.
Because we said the word honey malted, but I
drink it in. It always goes down smooth.
No, but I think it makes sense because when I read that this is the barley they use in nut brown ale, that brought some of those same flavors.
So, part of me would say if you compare it to some of the big boys that are out there and 12 and 15-year-olds, it'd be hard to give it that high of a rating. But if you look at it in context of being a 2-year-old, it's definitely going the right direction. It's definitely approachable and drinkable now. There are a lot of 2-year-olds out there that you really say, I like where it's going, but I'm not drinking it for another 2 or 3 or 4 years. I think this you can definitely buy and drink. I had the privilege of tasting this with one of their brand ambassadors up in Kentucky. I did bring back a bottle because it's not available in Florida.
Not yet.
And I'm enjoying it. And I'm enjoying it as much today as the first time I tried it. So I give it a solid 4 sips.
Woohoo.
That's classified.
Bobby Joe, what'd you think?
Well,
Made Man Bob. Sorry.
I absolutely have to agree with Maury. That's the thing that I got out of it when I tasted it. It's hard to believe that it is the age that it is because it's definitely showing maturity beyond its years. The coffee
you
notes.
think it's because it's the malted grains that all these grains are malted?
Maybe it is.
So when you malt a grain, what you're doing is you're actually converting a lot of the starch into sugar.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's more sugar for the
You're
yeast.
getting the sugar, you're also getting the additional enzymes, and you're getting, more of the enzymes and different types of enzymes because it's a different type of grain. Maybe that is helping it. I'm thinking that creaminess to the coffee on it, I'm thinking maybe that's coming from the malted wheat. But yeah, I'm definitely getting some fruit, some brown sugar, that sort of cafe au lait latte kind of on the back. It's got a great color to it. Honey and almond and nuts. Again, if you put this down next to a George T. Stagg or, something of that caliber.
That's a different animal.
Yeah, it's an entirely different animal. You can't, you have to take it for what it is. And honestly, I'd be happy to, have a bottle of this and drink this every day. I think they're doing a great job, and it really shows where they're going with it. And if this is a result strictly of the mash bill, because they are a contract producer, once they start making their own, probably by the end of the year, if they stick with this mash bill, once this gets some age on it, I think they're really going to have something. And, I give it a 4.
Nice.
That's classified.
One disclaimer here, kids. My 4 is not, qualified in any way. I'm not saying, oh, this is a 2-year-old, so it gets a 4. I didn't even read the notes properly. I just went to tasting. I don't want to color my perceptions by somebody else's tasting notes. I tasted. I didn't see that it was 2 years old when I gave it a 4.
Of course he's not looking. He's drinking.
I'm not reading, man. I'm a reader, but, I'm not reading this stuff because somebody else wrote it.
You have a problem. You have a drinking problem. You should get some help for that.
Yeah, that's
A
all
real
on my
woman
phone.
could stop you from drinking.
It has to be a real big woman.
I'm just saying.
Love that.
All right.
Who's up?
Our next product is the Rabbit Hole Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. That's coming in at 47.5% ABV. The mash bill on this rye is 95 rye, 5 malted barley. So when you hear 95.5 rye, a lot of people who are, whiskey geeks immediately assume LDI, MGP.
Whatever they're calling themselves today.
Yeah. This is not sourced whiskey. Again, this is contract distilled. It's not distilled by the guys at LDI. I know that much. I can't really say any more than that, but
He knows, but he won't say on air.
well, if you pay me, I might. But it is a 95 rye, contract distilled specifically for them. It's distilled and aged in Kentucky under the guidance of Rabbit Hole Master Distiller Larry Ebersold. It's aged in number 3 char barrels, again from Kentucky, Kelvin cooperage. Entry proof is 100.
What cooperage?
Kelvin cooperage. Is that good for you? Yeah.
Enunciation is important on the radio.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
Yeah. Okay. Barrel entry proof is 110, and this is aged 2 years.
This is the first one I noticed was only aged 2 years old.
I mean, it's got a nice color to it, considering its age. It's got a nice sort of burnished bronze kind of amber color to it.
You can tell that's a number 3 char on that barrel. I've seen some 2-year-olds that are very light. This is nice.
On the nose, it's got a beautiful nose. I mean, this rye is showing well past a 2-year rye. I've had a lot of young ryes, and this one definitely is, showing a lot more maturity than its actual age. I'm definitely picking up the spicy pepper notes. I'm getting a lot of sweetness, brown sugar, a little bit of cocoa on the back end, almost sort of a confectioner's candy kind of nose. On the palate, their tasting notes are saying dried apricot and fig. I'm not picking that up, but I absolutely am picking up the caramel and the custard on this. A little bit of spice at the back end. Yeah, I mean, just a really well put together rye. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with this, with a little bit more time on it. And that's kind of the nice thing right now, because whiskey, especially rye, is so hot. There are a lot of people coming out. So you're getting to try the stuff as it matures. I remember when Willet came out with their 2, now they've got their 3. You're getting to see how they grow. I think they've got something here. I think they're going in the right direction. I give it a solid 3 sips.
Interesting.
What do you think, Maury?
I'm going to echo a lot of what you said, Bob. I like it a lot. Again, it tastes mature, more so than some other 2-year-olds that I've had. It's definitely got rye on the nose. It's definitely got the spice and the white pepper on the palate. Again, it has a really nice mouth feel. It's rounded. It's mature. It doesn't taste like a whiskey that was just put in the bottle. There's a toss up between this and the bourbon, but I too would agree with you that I think the bourbon was just a little bit better for me. And so with that, I'm going to give this one a solid 3 sips as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it's, I don't think it's the mash bill per se. I mean, it's a 95.5 mash bill, which is a fairly common rye, especially right now in this market. Perhaps it's their aging facility. Perhaps it's the barrel manufacturer. I don't know, but yeah, they seem to be squeezing a little bit more maturity out of this than, the chronological age is showing.
First thing that comes to my mind when you see that is small barrels. Not always. And it sounds like,
we don't have the information about the barrels, though. We know it's made by Kelvin Cooperage. We don't know what size they made. I agree with you. I think it had to be small barrels or something else.
I don't think so. I think it may have just been stored maybe higher in the rick house and, to get this kind of flavor.
As far as I know, they're full size regular barrels.
Okay.
They're not small barrels unless I'm completely missing something. I mean, the pictures that I've seen and all of that. I mean, it's full size barrels.
Totally forgot about where the placement in the rick house should be.
Yeah.
That's a huge factor as well.
Yeah.
They've probably only got a 1-story rick house at the moment.
No, but I'm sure that
it's more of a storage unit somewhere at this point.
I'm sure that they contract a rick house is just like they contract a distillery. So I'm sure whoever's ever storing it for them, they have some say in where it's being stored.
Yeah. And I don't know the location of where they're storing stuff now. That's the thing that I find.
If you knew where they were storing stuff, you'd be there now with a truck. I know. They keep that stuff secret.
And your point is,
how big a truck?
Get in the damn truck. I mean, what do you want from me? Yeah, I could keep it.
It's one of those self-storage places, like where the drug dealers keep their money.
Yeah.
No, you see, you got to remember, we're here in South Florida, so the other 49 states don't really quite grasp that concept like we do here in South Florida.
Well, they saw Breaking Bad. Did you guys watch Breaking Bad in the rest of the country?
Oh, yeah, man, that's all fictional. Good Lord. You got Walter White running around in a yellow radiation suit. That's not exactly like reality. Come on, man.
What? All I know about crystal meth comes from Walter White, man. It's not blue.
In college.
Yeah.
Let me see your teeth. Got any of them left?
Him? No.
Oh, man. You guys are horrible.
They're fake.
Yeah, well, in any event, I'd be curious to know where they're aging this, and it
does not taste like a 2-year-old, man. I
don't know.
All right, I'll talk about more.
It's not just the destination, but baby, the whole elation of riding down this lover's avenue. As slow as a willow blows, or as fast as the whirlwind grows, we glide beneath the stars in cobalt blue. Look to the left, to the right, keep your eyes on the road, my darling, wondering if we're only passing through. Open roads and open windows, my hand is yours forever, sweet love. Our eyes ahead on these back roads with a view.
And we're back, and we are still talking about Rabbit Hole.
We keep going down the rabbit hole.
I'm hunting.
This whole episode's been filled with digressions, or rabbit holes, if you will. How about that malted barley?
I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Speaking
what do you
of digressions?
Let me talk about the whiskey then. How's that?
All right, what do you say, dude?
The dude abides.
Okay, thank you, dude.
Abides,
okay,
that's right.
This rug really ties the room together.
I really surprisingly like this because I've rarely ever liked a 2-year-old rye. I think rye is one of those whiskeys that needs at least 4 years. I think I prefer 7 or longer. And I'm so surprised, and I want to know what their secret is. We're going to have to go to Kentucky and beat it out of them. The nose for me, you guys talked about the white pepper. The first thing that hit me, though, was citrus. It's like orange peel, and it was just gorgeous orange, and then a little bit of spice. Then I got your white pepper and stuff, but the citrus really hit me. It was like a whiskey that had been aged a lot longer, a rye that had been aged a lot longer, and When I tasted it, the caramel and custard, yes, but I did get that fig that you said, Bob. You said you didn't get the fig?
No.
I got fig.
But I am now that you mentioned, I am definitely picking up the citrus in the back end, all the way in the back.
Citrus is big, but when I put the reason I'm picking up fig, I guess, is the other day I was tasting some really great fig brandy from France.
And you haven't brushed your teeth since then? Is that what you're trying to do?
Speaking of digressing.
Yeah.
There you go.
He was eating some fig Newtons and drinking some brandy.
What is the relevance of some French fig brandy?
It's kosher for Passover. I don't know.
Thank God you told me that.
Somebody needs to know.
I could tell Maury was really worried. Yeah.
Well, do you keep kosher at all?
For about 5 minutes.
Yeah. I should know better. We were talking about oysters earlier, too. Anywho, I got the figs on this. I thought it was gorgeous. Do you have any more left? Can I have some?
It's gone.
It's gone. I just took the last of it. Yep. I took the last of it. That's what you get for...
That's what you get.
Talking instead of drinking. Right, I know.
Right.
Well, and then there was some nice spice in the fish. Little green notes, because I think it was not aged long enough. The green notes went towards fennel, I guess. And I just thought it was great for a 2-year-old. So I'm gonna. I don't know that I could give it a 3 like you guys did. So 2 sips, my friends.
Well, isn't that
I want to
nice?
taste this in 2 more years.
I'm going to be excited to taste it.
You wax is poetic
years.
and give it 2 sips. I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, look, it had potential. I'm amazed by their potential. I think this, at a 6-year-old.
Your high school guidance counselor said you have potential, and look at you now.
I dropped out of school.
Exactly.
I never finished my PhD. My mom blames me. My mom blames my ex-wife and all her friends, even though I dropped out before. Whatever.
I've heard about your ex-wife. I blame her for a lot, too.
Regardless, I want to taste this in 2 to 4 more years. I think at 6 years, this is going to be phenomenal.
I'd kind of like to taste it in about 6 weeks, and then maybe about again.
I would have
in about
liked to
6
taste
months.
it just now again, but someone drank all of it.
Well, don't look at me.
Don't look at me. I'm finishing off.
Look at the guy across from you. That's the one who got
Maury,
it.
have you rated this yet? I forgot where we were.
I did. No. I rated it.
Our next step is Brent.
Brent.
Yep, I get the. I don't get the apricot and the fig either. I don't get it. But I do get the orange. I do get the oranges on there, and I do get the pepper. Lots and lots of pepper for me. It's almost too spicy for its age.
Because you're white. Eat some Thai food. Come out. Let's go eat some Indian food. It's not too spicy.
Well, no, for its age, I think it's almost too spicy. But it is very good. It's I like that little pepperiness in your mouth, the feeling of it and stuff. And I don't know how you can only give it a 2. It's of a rating. I think he's
a petty, hateful little man. What can I tell you?
You're right. He is a little.
This is why white people's kids don't go to college anymore. You don't expect enough from them.
Have some of your tasty beverage to wash this down.
But
I'm the tiger mom of ratings.
No, but that's okay. I mean, a 2 is still very good for this. But I'm going to give it a 3 sips.
Interesting.
All right. Okay.
My advice to you: start drinking heavily.
I was outvoted.
I took that advice last night.
I actually on my paper I said 2 or 3, and I probably only gave it a 2 just to spite you guys.
Okay. The next product we're going to talk about is the Rabbit Hole Straight Bourbon Whiskey, finished in Pedro Jimenez sherry casks. It clocks in at 46.5% ABV. This offering is part of the Fingerprint edition from Rabbit Hole. This was created to showcase the art of finishing and blending. In this expression, the folks at Rabbit Hole took a 5-year-old wheated bourbon that was aged in a No. 4 char oak barrel from Independence Dave. They then transferred it into hand-selected 30-year-old sherry butts. These butts are 500 liters or 132 gallons.
But.
I refuse to come down to your level.
They had previously held Pedro Jimenez, PX for short, sherry from Spain. Let's talk about the mash bill. The whiskey has 68% corn, 18% wheat, and 14% malted barley.
Yeah, you can taste it too.
Yes. It's got a wonderful color, rich caramel color, And the nose is really pretty spectacular. The nose really is reminiscent of decadent baked goods with some range from strawberry pastries to buttery cookies.
When you say decadent, I mean, are you making a moral value judgment on the pastries, the way they live their lives?
No, I'm not judging the way they live their lives.
He's just judging you. That's what we have you.
They're loaded with butter.
Yeah.
They're buttery. They're rich.
They're not going to S&M dungeons or anything.
No, nothing like that.
That creates a disturbing mental image.
On the palate, I gotta say I love the viscosity. It's got a wonderful mouthfeel.
Drink it in. It always goes down smooth.
It is in the dungeon?
It is exceptionally smooth, and there's definitely some richness of creme brulee and caramel. It's really nice on the palate. There's some subtle notes of vanilla, and then it just has this lingering finish. I might add also, I even get a hint of dried apricot and maybe even a little touch of fig and or custard. It's really got a lot going on the palate. It doesn't have any of the greenness that we talked about in the last whiskey. It's just really a much more polished and finished product. And as I said, the finish just lingers on and on and on. This really, I can't say enough good things about this whiskey. When you stop and think about this being such a new company, it's just, it's astonishing.
It is.
It's hard to give it 5 sips, but, we don't do 4.5 sips. So, I think that, these guys are definitely going to be a 5-sip company in the future. But for today, I have to give this a solid 4 sips.
Woohoo.
That's classified.
All right, Brent, what'd you think?
Okay, well, it's just like with the rye, I thought that was a little bit too bitter. This one I almost think is too sweet. I get a lot of that baked goods.
There's no other whiskeys after this one, Goldilocks. This is it.
I know that. I know that, but that's what I'm saying.
This bed is too soft.
It is very soft, but
it was too cold.
This is a dessert whiskey. There's no question.
It is a dessert whiskey, and that's what I'm getting at. It's not something that you're going to sip all day.
Oh, as we all know, Brent is not a dessert guy. You can tell by his
but he is
trim
a sip all day whiskey guy.
figure.
I think that comes from the whiskey, but I get a lot of
the cheesecake.
On the nose, I do get a lot of that baked goods, the strawberry. On the palate, it's very nice, very sweet, it's got a great mouthfeel. I get dark cherries, vanilla. I get a little hint of that creme brulee and, and the sweetness. And then for the finish, I get a dry finish with a little bit of hint of pepper. And like I said, this is not something I could sip, all day. It's like either a before dinner or after dinner drink. And then I would move on to something else. For me, it's kind of like a one and done drink for that day. But, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I am going to give this 3 sips.
Interesting.
Right. Have you ever seen anything that he wouldn't drink all day?
I think it's time for an intervention.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we have.
Yeah, we won't go there.
It's like I've heard of session IPAs with the low alcohol. You can drink them all day at a long session. I don't have any session bourbons. I can just sip on all day. My liver doesn't take that.
Yeah, well, let's just say, Brent has a little bit of a drinking problem.
A real woman could stop you from drinking.
It has to be a real big woman.
Yeah, okay. Yes, Arthur.
Bob,
Harm, what'd you think?
Oh, okay, my turn. Well, sir, the baked goods are decadent. Naughty, even.
Naughty?
They're just,
Are you spanking the bottle?
I'm spanking the baked goods. The baked goods are
don't spank yourself on the air.
It reminded me of like croissant. I like
finished. I like
a lot of
finished
butter.
whiskeys, but it's I do get its sweetness.
Yeah.
You get it. It's there.
Really?
Dessert.
Have you had a finished whiskey before? Yeah.
I might have had one.
This is dessert in a glass, and there's no question.
Yeah.
If you judge it as a dessert whiskey, I think it's excellent and very well done.
I think this would go great with a cigar. We haven't done an episode of whiskeys and cigars, but this would be a cigar whiskey.
But I think
Not
if you
my wife's
compare
babes, you won't.
You compare it to a George T. Stagg, it's the other end of the spectrum.
Oh yeah.
Oh, very much so.
Okay, well, may I continue?
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you don't. You're not sorry at all. I know. Oh, Bob, would you like another one?
Yes,
So-
I think I need another one.
Anyway, so to me, it reminded me of like a really good croissant with some strawberry jam on it. Everybody got strawberry on this, but when I tasted it, I actually got more citrus coming out. So it started berries, then citrus and chocolate. That there was a little bit of chocolate on the nose. Let me nose that again. Yeah, just a little bit at the end there. And everyone said creme brulee. Dead on. This creme brulee. This is vanilla custard and that crunchy caramel topping. This is gorgeous. And there is red fruit still. Yeah. Lingering finish. I shouldn't even have been talking. You should just listen to me savoring the finish. It is yummy.
You're right. He shouldn't be talking. I'm cutting his mic off right now.
Sorry. But I didn't get the dry finish that Brent got. Brent said to finish dry to me. It's not like a peppery finish. It's to me more like cinnamon or acacia bark. So let's call this solid 4 sips too. And do it.
That's classified.
From now on, we're going to be doing it with his microphone off.
I'm savoring the whiskey.
All right. Yeah, this one really hit it for me. I love a well done finished whiskey. I mean, there are some out there that are not
over the top or unbalanced
or not enough. You know, I mean, it's hard. That's a hard target to hit. And a lot of times, people don't. I can name, in this country on one hand, the people who are doing it well. And I'll tell you, they've nailed this one. And I thought it would be too sweet. I do love, one of my favorite scotches in the world is a PX barrel finished scotch. So I thought, well, this might be a little bit too sugary. No.
Which one was that? Sonalta or,
the Sonalta. Yeah.
Of course, the one they don't make anymore. Yeah. Bob wants you to go out and, bust the bank trying to find it.
No, you're not finding any in Florida. I've been to every liquor store between here and the Panhandle. I own them all. This one really hit it for me. I do really love a barrel finish, and I do really love a PX finish. Sweet, like Maury said, it's decadent. It is a end of the evening whiskey. I'm not drinking this at the beginning of the evening. I'm not, sitting at a tailgate going through a bottle of this. This is something after a really great meal. You're going to sort of sit back with friends and pass this one around and just really just sit back and enjoy it.
It's reminiscent of a cognac because, I mean, when tasting, I didn't really think about a cognac, but then listening to you guys talk about it, Maury said the dried apricots. I said cinnamon. You guys were talking about the sweetness and the berry flavors. That, to me, on paper, that spells cognac.
Yeah. And like I said, I think of this a lot like, dessert wine. It can be the dessert. It'd be hard to pair it with dessert without it conflicting and clashing a little bit. But this is, like I called it, dessert in a glass. Yeah. It, really finishes off the meal nicely.
I'm glad you're, not ashamed to pat yourself on the back. It's good.
The thing I like about it is a lot of these, when they do the barrel finish, you're tasting more of the wine than the whiskey. You're tasting more of the whiskey than the wine. And on this one, I'm getting that PX sherry nose, but it's not covering it up. It's just really enhancing it well. I mean, the caramel on this is amazing. No, it's not cloying at all.
A lot of PX sherries are cloyingly sweet, like drinking a glass of prune juice.
It's like Caro syrup and raisins. Yeah. I mean, you definitely get that raisiny from the PX, which I do really adore.
It wasn't as raisiny for me.
When I say raisiny, not overtly, but I mean, in the back of the palate, you get that.
PX, yeah, maybe in the back. I'm sorry, maybe I didn't get enough whiskey in my glass to get all the way to the back of my palate.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's right here. No. This one just really the sweet buttery pastry on this, the creme brulee, the sweet red fruit, and I hate to admit it, he's right. It's on the back palate. It's not a drying. It is. It's more
but it's not pepper.
It's more like that. It's more like that when you eat something with a little bit of cinnamon on it. You get the cinnamon up front, and then in the back you get that sort of dryness at the back of your tongue from the cinnamon itself, from the bark, or from the it's
acacia bark, more than cinnamon. I guess
that's what it is, but I mean, very, very pleasing. I mean, this is an extremely
just going back and smelling this empty glass. The operative word is empty glass.
Yeah, this is an extremely well made whiskey, and this is from batch number 1 from them. I think they're on batch 2 or 3 now, but if they're going to be doing more of these on the Fingerprint series and they do the rest of them this well, I'm absolutely going to have to make sure that I go and, get some more of these because this is extremely well done.
When are they coming to Florida, man? I want to know.
We're working on it. And I give this one 4 sips.
All right.
That's classified.
But what do you guys think? Rabbit Hole.
Rabbit Hole is nice. I'm looking forward to the future with them. I think if these are their first 3 expressions, that in 3-4 years, I'm expecting a lot out of them. I'm not expecting them to sit back and just take the stance that some of these distilleries do. I'm expecting them. They're building their new distillery and everything. I expect a lot.
Yeah, I agree with Brent. I think these guys are really not only going the right direction, but they've gone the right direction. I think they've got some wonderful offerings that are very approachable now, not the usual thing that we see, which is not really ready for prime time, and we're just trying to get it out there in a hurry. I think they've done it thoughtfully, and whatever they've done to get it to mature a little bit quicker has really paid off. And as I said, I think if this is a preview of what's to come with the finishing, again, I love finished whiskeys, and they're doing it right.
Yeah, well done. All right, well, that's all the time we have today. We hope you enjoyed this episode. You can catch all of our episodes online as well as on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, PRX, and Spreaker, our native media host. iTunes, Google Play, and our own Android app are the easiest ways to enjoy the show on your phone. Just search for Sips, Suds, Smokes on iTunes or in the Google Play Store. Our daily tasting notes flow out on Twitter every day at Sips, Suds, Smoke, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news. Do us a favor and take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. It's a big help. I want to thank our co-host for joining us today. Thanks, Brent.
It's a pleasure to be here. I finally understand why you have the new jackalope down here.
Yep. Thank you, Maury.
Thank you, Bob. It's really been fun today.
And thank you, Harmeet.
I'm dazed and confused by the young whiskey I actually liked. Thank you for having me.
And remember, life is too short to drink cheap whiskey.
This has been a one-tan hand production of Sips, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the good old boys, will see you all next time.